Hi and welcome to Inside Line. I'm Matt Campbell and this week I'm joined by Andrew McLean. In this episode we'll go over our Car of the Year award winners, talk about the safety of animals inside the car and discuss the new generation Ford Mustang. But first it's time for our internet burnout. This epic pile-up in the US occurred after several cars hit black ice. It was a pretty big one, wasn't it, AMAC?
70 cars.
70 cars.
Yeah, bunched up, spinning backwards. They were all over the place.
I guess it's the start of winter, so you've got to expect these sorts of little pile-ups to happen.
Yeah, it was in Massachusetts, obviously one of the northern states, and probably got caught out with some winter ice, and a clear reminder that, you know, when the conditions change and seasons change, that big things can happen.
On a very different topic now, and Drive's annual Car of the Year awards have wrapped up with the Mazda 6 coming out on top. It really did tick all the boxes, didn't it?
Yeah, it's a great car. It's the size of a Commodore, so you're getting all this space, but it weighs about 160 kilograms less, has a four-cylinder efficient engine. It really ticks all the boxes for a family car in the sort of 2013.
Exactly, and unlike a lot of the mid-sized cars in that sort of segment, you can get a wagon as well, which adds to the family practicality aspect of it.
Absolutely, and a diesel engine. So while it's a relatively slim choice, there's a lot of model proliferation with different spec levels.
Exactly, and some other winners from some highlights, I guess. The Porsche Cayman S ousted its big brother.
Yeah, that's not really a surprise, obviously, when value comes into the equation. The Carrera S is still a fantastically brilliant car and the icon that the 911 is. But the Cayman really does 95% of what a 911 can for about 50% of the money. Exactly.
And in the performance under 60,000 category, we thought that going into it, we all thought the Fiesta ST might be a really strong showing in that because it's such a great performance car for the money.
Yeah.
But the 86 just proved too strong.
Yeah, the 86 is one of those cars that comes along, once in a decade sort of thing, and Toyota has done a brilliant job along with Subaru, its partner, and it sort of stood up as still the car that puts a big smile on your face. But the Fiesta ST really did, hold a candle to it. A couple of grand cheaper, just as punchy sort of on the road, but its front-wheel drive underpinnings just didn't bring that sort of laugh-about smile when you really want to have a sports car underneath your right foot.
Exactly. I can't wait till next year. There's some fantastic cars coming in the next 12 months, so looking forward to that. From some of the best cars on the road to some of man's best friends, a new crash test has shown up the dangers of driving with dogs unrestrained in your car. Now, it's pretty intriguing stuff, this.
Yeah, no, you went out to the NRMA this morning and watched a crash test simulation with a dog dummy.
Yeah.
How did it go?
Well, as you'd expect, the one that was tethered to its seat stayed relatively stable, but only at 20 k's an hour, the dog that was unrestrained was a 30-kilo dummy. Probably would have died if it was a real dog. That's the impact that these sorts of accidents, even just little low-speed traffic light accidents, these can have a big impact on animals.
And obviously not just to the animal, but to the occupants of the car. It just becomes a projectile within the car, doesn't it?
Exactly right. But the strangest thing about this is that there are no laws that say that you have to have a dog or cat or any animal restrained inside your car. All it says is that you can't have it in your lap. Do you find that weird?
I do find that alarming, but one of the most alarming stats I found was that 4% of people actually admitted to carrying a dog on their lap while driving. And literally this morning I saw one just in the car park outside here, an Audi convertible with a lady with a dog on her lap. Now, if she'd had an accident, the dog wouldn't just be injured, it'd be somewhere down the road.
Exactly right.
That's not a good sign. And, particularly for man's best friend, your pet is part of your family and you want to protect it as much as your children, some people.
Exactly. I guess that's the point, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Now, from dogs to horses, well, sort of, the all-new Ford Mustang will be revealed later this week. It's kind of a big deal for the brand, this thing, isn't it?
Absolutely. The Mustang is Ford's icon, an automotive, legend in its own right. And this car will be coming to Australia. So not only is it, important for Ford in the US, but here in Australia, they're actually going to do a synchronised 6-city launch around the world, with Sydney playing a part of it on Thursday night.
That's crazy. It's obviously a big deal, and looks like it's going to get a 4-cylinder engine as well, winding back the clock a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's while the technical details will obviously be revealed officially on Thursday, we're hearing that there will be a 4-cylinder turbocharged engine for the first time in 20 years. Now, back then it was obviously in response to an oil crisis in the 70s, and a 4-cylinder Mustang never really took off as a real sort of muscle car.
Yeah.
This one, potentially it's a bit different, so we'll wait and see.
Yeah, they can do some pretty magic stuff with turbos these
Absolutely.
days. That's all we have time for this week. Be sure to join us again next week and stay tuned for all the latest car news and reviews at drive.com.au. Thanks for watching.